it play and call it work.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Sit and Talk. Today you've got Luka here from MiniWarGaming going live. So I will be answering questions from, Vault members on our website at MiniWarGaming.com, where you can also leave comments for, I believe it is Matt next week. So if you go to MiniWarGaming.com and you go to this video that will be on there, and you'll leave comments down below there on the website, but not on the YouTube, because the comments will be disabled, and not in the Vault segment either, because the comments will not be answered. So I'll remind you a couple times throughout this series. It's going to be for Matthew, so if you have any questions for him, leave them there, of course. And I will also be answering questions from anyone live who is watching currently right now. And if you want to ask me a question, I won't be seeing them in the chat, but if you put in the command !ask and a space behind it, it'll pop up for me here. And I just open it for you all there, and I will be able to read it here, answer it, pass it on. You're only going to be able to actually put in one question at a time until I get to it, acknowledge it, and then exit that, and then the next one pops up, so on and so forth. There's a character limit. Don't leave me a story. If you absolutely have a longer question that you want to ask me and it doesn't fit in here, type it out, and if it doesn't fully pop up, I will ask Cullen to read it out for me, so I'll have to wait for him to do that. But try to keep them short and concise if you can, but don't be afraid to ask the question if you find it to be long. I'll still be happy to answer it, of course.
But before we get going, we have had a 25-bit donation from Super Wasp King.
Super Wasp King? Thank you, Super Wasp King. Super Wasp King. Super Wasp King. I love you. All right, I'm going to start off with a few questions from the Vault members just to kind of let the asks on the chat kind of add up. Yes, it is open. I've seen one already. So I'll do one or two here, swap it out. I'm just going to kind of freeform back and forth. The first one here on MiniWarGaming.com is from Jinro. This was 5 days ago from a Vault member. Thank you, Jinro. Luka, first, keep up the funny Yogveer moments. I will try. He kind of plays himself, so it's not hard. I was laughing quite a bit with some of his one-liners to Tor. For my question, of course, have you tried the blind box Space Marines yet? I'm not too familiar with what a blind box Space Marine is. Did you like them? With a second series already on the way, would you like to see another 40k races or even Age of Sigmar blind box? Now, I'm not too sure what the blind box is, and I feel a little silly, working here, I'd like to figure out what everything is. Are you looking it up?
What are they called?
It's the 40k blind box.
Is it the Space Marine,
Yeah.
Is it a Space Marine thing?
It's a Space Marine thing, yeah.
It's single characters in boxes.
And you don't know what it is?
Yeah, there's 11 different ones that you can get.
This is what I thought it was, yeah.
It's kind of like a magic pack, kind of like.
Right, random. Literally, it's random in nature. I haven't tried it, no. Am I a fan of those kind of things? Yes, I love trading card games in general, right? You have the same kind of concept, if this is the same thing. You crack it open, you figure out what it is, and you try and make a use out of it, right? This goes the same way with any of these miniatures. You get the miniature, you're like, well, I didn't really expect I'd need an apothecary, but I'm going to start throwing apothecaries in my list to see if I can make them work, right? If that's one of the options you can get, that's kind of cool.
I think it's mostly just like a 10-man tactical squad. I think there's a captain in there, and there might be a lieutenant.
Okay. It's just like little kind of small snippets add to your army?
Yeah, and they're all named, and
okay.
They have their helmets, and then they have their faces, and they have little cards, and there might be a game with them. I'm not 100% on that.
Huh. I don't know much about it. I haven't checked it out. Would I like to see them expand that to Age of Sigmar and maybe other armies? Of course. I always love to see Games Workshop coming with cool, nifty ideas for anyone to get into the hobby, right? I definitely would like to see more of that. The next question I have here is from Grizzfog. Is Quirk okay? Yes, Quirk is fine. Quirk is fine. No Am Bugat. Okay, no, I'm probably saying this one horribly wrong. No Am. It's probably No Am Bugat one. Hey, Luke. It's Luka, but I forgive you. Me and my group of friends don't have a store, but we like to play. What is the cheapest way to get good Age of Sigmar terrain in your opinion? Well, recently there was a company called Studio Level that gave us some terrain and a mat that goes along with it that was on a Kickstarter. I've been promoting this one a lot because I was a big fan of it, and I am certain that there are more options out there like this where they offer to sell a mat of varying sizes, depending on whatever game you want to play or whatever game size, that has terrain that matches that mat at a very reasonable price, as opposed to having to hunt down a mat on its own, which can be pricey, and then obviously terrain in larger collections adds up quite a bit. So now more than ever, I'm seeing companies kind of offer entire sets of terrain for reasonable prices. Now, they're not the highest quality terrain, but they are very usable and they look very fine on the table. I mean, just good enough that I've used them multiple times myself. Now, that was studio level, so you can go ahead and check them out. The Gardebuch Shrine or the Buch Guard Shrine, something like that. I'm gonna pop over to the questions from the live, though. And we have one from Bosyn, B-O-S-Y-N, Bosyn. What is your favorite Loyalist Legion in 30K and chapter in 40K? Loyalist, eh? Why does that have to be Loyalist? Loyalist is a hard one. You're making me think. I want to get to all the questions. Loyalist. Oh, man. Oh, you know what? I haven't actually read on the Ultramarines that much in the 30K. I mean, I'm getting there, right? We're slowly getting there. I'm on book 10. No, I skipped to the first character. It's book 14. I'm like book 11 or 12 for the Horus Heresy. Now, I kind of skipped the one with the Ultramarines. I want to say the Ultramarines are probably one of my more favored Loyalist ones. It's pretty vanilla, I know, but I just like how their models look when they have all the proper Ultramarine insignia on it, and they have very regal kind of power armor. It's very impressive looking in general. Probably Space Wolves both, though, in the end. Space Wolves in 30K, Space Wolves in 40K, just because they're that feral, very close combat-oriented army in a game where it's all about shooting. Obviously, they can play in a shooting area. They can play for shooting, but they prefer to fight. And I've always been more of a fan of close combat.
Just so you know, it is Bosun.
Bosun. All right. So now, what did I say? Bosun?
Bosun.
Sorry, Bosun. My bad. The next one we have here is from Darkstar9305. Can't get that one wrong. Luka, if you could make rules for a second or third founding, which chapter would it be, and what rules would you make? Oh, why are you asking the real questions? That's tough. What rules would I make? Well, I would make their Space Marines good. And to do so, I would like to imagine Space Marines, they do an okay amount of damage, but they have that staying power, right? So I'd like to make... Oh, these would be ridiculous rules. I guess these would have to be Loyalist then if I'm doing foundings. But there's some chaos. I'll do Loyalist. I would say I would make them... So I think the Space Wolves only have like one founding. They're still the Space Wolves in whole. They don't really follow the Codex Astartes, as far as I remember. I'll say Ultramarines for now. Blood Angels or Ultramarines. I'd make a second or third founding of them. And I would give them it'd be Ultramarines, because I think this is more Ultramarine. They'd have... Oh, it could be Salamander too. Salamanders. We'll go with Salamanders. Just because I think this makes more sense for them being the Artificers. They're going to have super power armor. Power armor that kind of represents in-game mechanics very well. Their power armor, or just their chapter tactic, would be that their infantry, bikes, and dreadnoughts, their armor, depending on what it is, ignores rend unless it is -2 or greater. In addition, infantry and Terminator armor would ignore armor penetration unless it was -3 or greater. That way, a heavy bolter has no effect on a Space Marine or Terminator or any Xenos weapon with negative AP. I would have, and the Terminators are immune to anything but plasma, melta, anything along those lines. So only the heaviest and the most deadly weapons really get through their power armor / Terminator armor. And that'd be the same for their Dreadnoughts. Their Dreadnoughts would ignore the first 2 levels of rend, making their Dreadnoughts super durable. The tanks, I can forego the tanks. I don't really care that much about them. It kind of keeps it in line with the rest of the chapter tactics as well. So the next one I have here is from Oliver Was Here. There you go. I almost said Oliver Washer was what I almost said.
Okay, I think I'm going to bring up the countdown screen for a second.
Okay.
Because I want to change the camera setting because we are lagging fairly decently right now.
All right. Everyone, I will be back in but a moment. Hello everyone, I am back. A little bit of technical issues there. Hopefully Cullen was able to get it working. I believe I left off at Oliver was here. I do want to mention though that anyone who does sub on Twitch, I appreciate that quite a bit because that does help us here at MiniWarGaming as well. It's kind of like, if you're already a Vault member, it's kind of like double dipping in the support. But we're trying to make this stream thing something that we can do on the regular. In fact, we're doing it quite a bit now, just as much as we're really scrambling to do both at the same time, and it's a lot of fun, especially with the role-playing games we're doing with Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, any subs out there helps us a bunch. And there's also Twitch Prime. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you would also get one free Twitch sub that a lot of people don't know about. And if you want to support us, you can use that, and it doesn't cost you a dime other than you're already subscribed to Amazon Prime, if you want to count that. But yeah, anyways, Oliver was here. Should I build Drukhari or Black Legion Chaos? Well, Oliver was here. I can give you an answer to both of those. Drukhari play a lot more competitively. You can also play pretty down with them. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for competitive, the clear answer is Drukhari. The fun answer is Black Legion, because Chaos can build pretty powerfully, but it's not necessarily Black Legion. Like Obliterators are good, Cultist Spam are good. Cultist Spam is in particular very good when you have Abaddon down, making them immune to morale and all that good stuff. But if you want to ask another question based on competitive nature or just like casual nature, I can answer that a little bit better. But Drukhari play a lot more competitively than the Black Legion do for sure. The next one is going to be from Kefinas. Kefinas? I'm going to say Kefina. Do you know when you guys will do a Deathwatch narrative campaign again? Funny you ask, for Josh and I are currently recording a Deathwatch narrative campaign right now, today actually as well. We're on episode 5 out of 12, ideally. We're about halfway through it. It's not going up yet. It probably won't go up until after the holidays. That way we're not interrupting the holidays with anyone with the episodes coming out that week. That way you can just kind of jump into it after the holidays when all of your busy lives kind of clear up a little bit and you can just relax again, and then you'll have some Deathwatch narrative campaign to watch from there. It is written by Miles Drake, as a lot of our campaigns recently have been written by him. And Josh and I are having a lot of fun. He's got a pretty powerful Deathwatch team already on episode 5. And these are all models that he himself uses in his Deathwatch army because he is the in-house Deathwatch player. He's the only one with a Deathwatch army. So each one of his guys actually have a storyline, and that are models that were sent in from players that have visited us or people that are just fans of Josh and his Deathwatch team. So they give him shoulder pads and a little bit of a narrative behind the chapters that he uses as well. And it is called Deathwatch Resurrection because it's simple. It's simple. The next one is going to be from By Lemon. Well, By Lemon, do I still play Magic the Gathering? The answer is yes. If so, what do you play? Commander, Modern, Standard? I play Commander. Like strictly Commander. I used to play back when it was called Elder Dragon Highlander. Back when you could only use the Elder Dragons. It was beautiful. And there can be only one. My favorite format. It was amazing. It still is amazing. Commander has come a long way for us. At first, when we used to play it, it was that very degenerate. We're all teenagers. We all want to win as fast as we can. We all want to have the strongest deck amongst friends. And there was a lot of turn 1 wins, a lot of like no holds barred, just like if so what, you lose, infinite combos, that kind of degenerate stuff. Now, after years of playing, probably about 10 years of playing, we've narrowed it down to using essentially just starter decks and just like adding a few cards here and there. Or we make our own kind of fun custom decks with like the proper way of doing it is you find a legendary creature and you make a deck based around them. But they're like no more than $50 in power level, and there's no infinite combos, and they're just like really cool little interactions. I haven't played Standard or Modern seriously since Khans of Tarkir came out. That's not that long ago. It's like 4 years ago, maybe more, 5 years ago.
No, Khans would have been.
Because it was before.
That's when I started leaving too.
Yeah, because it's more than 3 years ago. It's got to be. It's definitely more than 3 years ago because I didn't have my car at that point.
Yeah.
I remember that's.
Definitely. It was back when I was still playing, so for sure.
Yeah, it was more than 3 years ago. Probably closer to 4. Somewhere in between 3 and 4 years ago. That's when I stopped playing Standard and Modern seriously. But Commander is like, I used to go to Grand Prix all the time. I only ever once made it to day 2. That was kind of fun. but I was never really good at it. But I always liked Commander. The next question, I am actually going to go back to the MiniWarGaming site and see who's next. This is Deadeye Duck. Hey, Luka, please tell us that Yogveer slips into full Canadian again in the campaign. Well, you see there, bud, it's it just kind of comes out naturally every now and then when you're being silly. I don't make it happen on purpose. It's just I get excited. The Canadian comes out and it's hard to keep. I can't do an accent seriously. I cannot. The second I start talking in Swedish or if I start talking in German or Russian, I crack up halfway through the sentence and I can't take myself seriously. So most of the time it's just my own voice or the Canadian comes out accidentally. The next question will be from...
I just want to say real quick, sorry if it's lagging in any sort of way. I did try to do my best.
Is she bad?
There's still decent lag, even though on the Twitch inspector it says that our connection is stable. It's lying to me. I dropped the bit rate and I dropped the frame rate and still experiencing some issues.
Hopefully it's not too bad. If you didn't hear what Cullen said, he's apologizing for the lag. He's trying to make it work, but Twitch is lying to him saying that we're strongly connected when we clearly are not. I have no knowledge about any of that, so I'm just going to keep talking to the camera, and hopefully you guys pick up what I'm putting down. Yeah, next question. Aaron down here. Luka. The next to last one of your Firestorm games had you holding the camera instead of Matt. I can't remember the last time I saw Matt play without holding the camera. How did that come about? Well, it's a form of training, I suppose. It's just Matthew. Now, in a lot of circumstances, when Dave and Matt are recording with one of us, they want to see how we record. Just to get the perspective, to be able to scrutinize us very closely as we play. Because when you're recording, it's hard to pay attention to everything that's going on. So when they're just observing us record them play, they get to watch more and they give us tips and pointers here and there in case we're doing anything wrong or anything they don't like. But it's always kind of fun, having the boss watch every single move you make. That's great. You can't remember the last time you saw Matt holding the camera. It's been a while, probably. The last time Matt hasn't held the camera was probably the last time he recorded with Dave, is what I'm going to guess, if he didn't already hold the camera with Dave. So it's probably been a long time, at least not that I can remember. Also, Yogveer is amazing and should always speak in a heavy Canadian accent. I guess that's two people that have told me that they should always see him in a heavy Canadian accent. That one I can do naturally without kind of losing my cool, because that one obviously comes more natural to me. The next question is from Hawkeye159. Hey Luka, is there any scope for MiniWarGaming doing a podcast or turning the audio from some of the shows into a podcast format? I wouldn't know much about that. Cullen would know more about that than I would. I'm a regular listener of a lot of gaming podcasts, and I think it would be awesome if you started one. Keep up the good work. Gabe from Derbyshire, United Kingdoms. I assume it's nothing in the future.
Actually, there is. The show that I plan on starting.
Yeah, it's a podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, right, you did mention this.
The talk show, podcast style show that...
What are we calling it?
My big issue is I just don't have a lot of time right now. But that is in the works and trying to create both being able to live stream it and then posting it on, finding all the different podcast sources what everyone likes and trying to get it up there and do it that way.
So there is something in the works.
It is in the plans. I just...
do you have a name for it yet?
Pardon?
Do you have a name for it yet?
Possibly branding it also as the reroll as that coming back. But
the resurrection of the reroll.
Kind of.
We might change the name.
The re-reroll.
The re-reroll. Yeah, so apparently there is, well, not apparently, like I remember Cullen mentioned this before, there is an idea of doing a talk show where a number of us just sit down and talk about whatever has just come out, whatever has come out and reviews of it, whatever the meta is about, anything like that, right? Pertaining to wargaming, naturally. Or maybe if there's nothing interesting to talk about wargaming, we talk about role-playing, anything like that. But yeah, something in the future, something in the works. I don't know when, though, so I can't promise you that.
At this rate, it's looking like New Year.
After the New Year? Yeah.
I think.
Like 2019 project, which is pretty close. I mean, we are in December.
Exactly.
The next question is from Chatbot. Butters of Doom. Luka, if you had to play one game against the Grim Reaper for your life, what would it be? If I had to choose right now, it would be Farkle, for sure. That's not even a question. I could play 40K. I could play Age of Sigmar. Actually, I'd probably play Age of Sigmar, hoping that he doesn't know what or how the game works. That'd be great. But it's the Grim Reaper. Maybe he's all-knowing. I don't know. The next question is from Grey Army Gaming. Seeing as you are an internet celebrity, oh, thank you. I know, I'm amazing. Do you have any good stories related to your celebrity status? No, not really. It depends on what a good story is, right? Have I ever been pulled to the side and been distracted for an entire day by fans? No. Have I been recognized in public from time to time? Only when going to wargaming related stores. I went, the furthest I've ever been recognized from home is I went to Ireland once. And I went to the Games Workshop in Dublin, or one of the Games Workshops in Dublin, and I got recognized there. Ooh, that was pretty far away from home. But no, nothing really crazy, nothing cool. I had a lot of fun at Adepticon. Obviously, a lot of people approached me there at Adepticon, but nothing too crazy, nothing, just, a lot of casual conversation. What my opinion was of things that have just come out. Do I really enjoy Necrons as much as I make it seem like I do? Yes, I do. I'm sorry if it's not really that exciting, but it, just pretty casual encounters over the past 2 years. We got Catfish666. I like your name. That's fun. That's pretty funny. Mr. the Dice, what is your favorite type of beer? I don't like it. I am a big, bleh, it's gross. I don't like that or wine. They're both kind of. I pass on those normally. I just don't like the taste. It's the whole conversation of acquired taste versus why would you bother trying to acquire a taste for something if it tastes bad in the first place? Why would you ever taste something and be like, oh, that's gross. I'm going to try it several more times until I like it. I've never understood that, but I'm not a huge fan. I'm just a big baby. Next question is from Walking Harder. Luka, when you are speed painting a new army, what is your go-to strategy? Well, first of all, Walking Harder, never have I speed painted an army because I am awful. I have no motivation at any point. The last thing I speed painted was my Death Guard, and I got them for Christmas in 2017, technically, and I had only just considered them finished like 6 months, no, not even 6, like 4 months ago, and I still have to finish painting like 10 Poxwalkers and a bloat drone because I never got around to it. I figured I never needed them, so I never bothered painting them, so it's technically not even finished yet. So it took me about 8 months to finish painting that army, which is kind of sad when I've actually finished the bulk of it in a period of like 20 hours. There's a couple of days where I told myself, you know what, I'm just not going to play video games. How about that? I'm just not going to play video games until my Death Guard are near done. And I wasn't even happy with how they turned out. They were too white. I want to go back and fix them. The Death Guard, they're brand new models by Games Workshop, and they're Nurgle. So it's like a double whammy with all of the details that come in on the models. So even like one singular Plague Marine has more details than some of the characters that are out there for some of the armies. It's just ridiculous, over the top, and you just feel bad when you don't paint everything. So it took a while to do them. I'll go back and fix them up one day because I think they're too white. They're too like clean. So I'll have to fix that up. But what's my go-to strategy? Assembly line painting for sure. To me, there's no other way to do it. It's you build everything at once. You build everything assembly line. You make sure it's all clean. You prime it all, and then you just start. Preferably you airbrush the base of the army, right? So say you're like doing zombies, you airbrush all of the flesh, and then you start picking out the details on the flesh, like the sores and the boils, and then you just color the pants and call it done. But you have to do that that same step for all the zombies, and you get them all done. Skeletons are super easy to do, but that's what I would do, assembly line for sure. If I was painting Marines, if I was doing Ultramarines, spray all the blue, and then pick out the metals, and then pick out the symbolism, and then like color the laurels and some other things here, and then call them done. That's the process I would go about. I don't think I could do one at a time. Speed painting, it would take me forever. The next question is from Karak Kadrin, which is very dwarfish. Luka, what are your opinions, my fault. What are your opinions on the new formations and how this could affect list building? It's certainly, it seems like Games Workshop doesn't want to let them go. Obviously, you see a lot of this in Age of Sigmar right now with the War Scroll battalions, and this was something that came around, at least to my knowledge, in 7th edition 40k, which, in my opinion, was one of the things that potentially made it a little unbalanced. A lot, pretty crazy unbalanced, made a lot of people not want to play anymore unbalanced. But they've toned them down since then. Obviously, in Age of Sigmar, you have your War Scroll battalions, and you have to pay points for them, and you're also restricted on what you can bring in them. So there's a balance there, and they're pretty pricey. And you have to really consider if it's worth bringing a War Scroll battalion. So that was fine. They found a good balance there in that game, and I don't think you'll ever hear me complain about a War Scroll battalion. Now, in 8th edition, they're coming out with these narrative if you're not familiar with what Karak Kadrin means, is there's this narrative book coming out called something Vigilus, or maybe it's just called Vigilus, where there's a conflict between the Imperium, Genestealer cults. There are some Eldar and Orc influences there as well, and all of these armies, all the like Imperium being the Astra Militarum, several Astartes detachments, as well as, well, pretty much just Astartes in them. Oh, Adeptus Mechanicus as well. They're all represented here, and they all have these attachments where you choose one of your detachments in your army. So say you build a battalion, or say you build something else. As far as I recall, you upgrade it to something by spending a stratagem or a command point. So it's a stratagem that you unlock, and you spend command points to upgrade it to something based on whatever it is. It could be, I think they showed one on Warhammer Community today and yesterday, and I apologize, I can't remember. But they allow you to augment one of your detachments into something more, and gives you special rules. It gives you a warlord trait that everyone can benefit from, and it gives you new stratagems that you can use only on that one detachment. And there's a cost associated with it, obviously. From what they showed, they're not super powerful. They're just cool, different ways to play these armies, because they have equally powerful options in their codex already. But this could be something that maybe flows into something you, as a player, you couldn't find in your codex, but now this opens up a whole new area for you to play in. And there's a cost associated with it in the form of command points. And the only real benefit you get if you have no command points left is your warlord trait. Other than that, though, if you have no command points left to spend, you don't benefit from the detachment anymore. Whereas in 7th edition 40k, once you built it, it had no cost to it. It gave you really powerful benefits, and it lasted until the end of the game, or until all the units were destroyed in that detachment. Now, in this new form, you get only the benefits from the stratagems if you have the cost to use them, or the appropriate price, the stratagems to use them, and the warlord trait. And it's nothing too crazy. So I'm hoping it's going to be nice and balanced, and I hope it doesn't throw... I'm sure there's going to be someone who finds something crazy to do with it, or a very optimized way to run certain things, or it's just like, if you're not running this, you're crazy sort of situation. I'm hoping there's not going to be too many of those. I hope it's just cool, fun ways to play the game. And if it turns out they're just pretty meh, then it's just more options in the end. If your army's missing one thing, so you bring this detachment comprised of all of this one little force, and it gives you a little bit of an extra bonus. The next question is from WB Freak 54. I'm going to assume that's the Warner Brothers. He's a Warner Brothers Freak 54. Can you explain the bunker? Are the offices there too? Yes. So the bunker, the easiest way to explain the bunker is it is a new building in total, right? That our new studios are there. Our own personal offices are going to be there. The live stream is going to be held there. And that is where guests can come and stay for events that they themselves want to plan. Say you, for the longest time, you and your friends have been wanting to do an entire week or two of Apocalypse. Well, you have nowhere to play nearby, you can't figure it out, and you want to come by visit MiniWarGaming, then we have this entire gigantic play area that could work for that. That's the idea. You want to run narrative campaigns, you all come by there, you hang out with us while we're recording our own videos for our own channel, and we can partake in the events if we want to as well. That's the whole idea of the bunker. Everything here at these current offices are going to be transported over to the new bunker, and it's just a new building. And the new MiniWarGaming building is called the bunker. That's pretty much it.
And we have a tier 1 sub from Lord of Goats.
Lord of Goats?
Lord of Goats. This was a couple minutes ago when I totally missed it, so I apologize to you, Lord of Goats.
Lord of Goats, you are acknowledged. Lord of Goats, I appreciate you. Thank you, Lord of Goats. I also like the name. The next question is going to be from Oliver was here again. When are you going to do another Luka the Dice battle report? That's a good question. I've been super busy with narrative campaigns recently. Oh, jeez, Louise. When was the last 40K game I played just as like 40K to be for Luka the Dice? I'm having a hard time. It's not like it's been months. I know that. It's been... I'm trying to remember the last time I had a guess, because like I said, the last 2 weeks have been like strict like narrative campaigns. And I actually just recorded I need a vault segment for it, but I did just record a Luka the Dice last week with Jacob, who's been on the channel before. He's playing as Black Templars, and there's a little mix up in the schedule actually, where I had Kenny come in because I was going to play Kenny in Age of Sigmar, but Jacob was supposed to play with, I can't remember who, but they were sick and they could not actually make it in, and everyone else was busy. So Kenny was stuck there with nothing to do, and Jacob was stuck there with, I was going to play Age of Sigmar with Kenny, but Jacob was stuck there with nothing to do. And I'm not going to have a guest just sit around and do nothing. So I brought him in on my game, and I just kind of sat there and recorded Kenny and Jacob play against each other. It was Thousand Suns, 2,500 points versus Jacob's mixed Imperium army. So technically Imperial soup, but not without the stigma behind it. It was just a really cool Astra Militarum and Black Templar list that had some custodes at the forefront, like a squad of the Guardians on foot with a shield captain. It was a really cool list. I was a big fan of it. And versus Kenny with Magnus and his Thousand Suns. So I just need a vault part of that, and then that'll be going up whenever there's an opening for it, I suppose. So soon is the answer, I suppose. When you're doing another, and this is Oliver was here. So if you want to ask me another question, please do, pertaining to the Black Legion or the Drukhari, because I didn't fully answer that question. Did you want a more competitive army or a more casual army? This one is from Core 8 Ball. Luka, have you noticed that Colin looks a lot like Lance from the Beast of War site? Clones, cousins, or just another strange quirk of the internet? Go ahead and Google it. Lance from Beasts of War. So the ongoing joke here at the office is that no one can, and when I say no one, I mean Rob, can't get Cullen's name correct. He never says the same thing twice. It's Cullen, Coolin, Cullen. It's all over the place. His name, it's like C-U-L-L-E-N. Cullen. Cullen. 2 syllables. I'm not making fun of you, Corey Baum. Sorry, it's kind of funny to see that no one gets his name right, and I love it.
Welcome to my life.
It's his life, he says.
Do you mean Lance Wilson?
Do you mean Lance Wilson from the Beast of War?
That's kind of creepy.
Does he actually look like you?
Slightly.
I can't see from over here. It's too far away.
I want to see if I can find another picture that isn't just LinkedIn. Okay, maybe it's just LinkedIn.
So he finds it very creepy that he looks a lot like him. It's just a coincidence. This guy, I just, glitch in the Matrix, right?
Like, I wish I could show you this photo larger.
No, that is far away. Yeah, that's not happening. The next question is by Lemon, while Cullen works on that, while he tries to find a larger photo.
Oh, wait. MTE 1969. Twitch Prime sub.
Nice. Twitch Prime sub. Again, Twitch Prime. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get Twitch subs for free, or you get 1 Twitch sub for free, and you can choose to support any Twitch streamer you wish. And it was MTE 19.
MTE 1969.
1969. Are you almost 40 years old? Wait, are you 39 years old? Is that? No, you're even more than that. 49 years old. Yeah, 49 years old. There we go. If you are, welcome.
But if you're not,
But if you're not,
you're not welcome.
You're not welcome. In fact, how old are you, MTE 1969? I won't judge you. I'm just curious. I won't, like, if someone puts a date in their name, I'm always curious to see if that's their age.
Maybe something good just happened that year. Something memorable.
That means they're even older than that. It's not a bad thing, I guess. By Lemon, are there any wargaming or hobby channels that you yourself watch personally on YouTube? No, I don't actually know, because I only got into MiniWarGaming, not by a fluke, I guess by like the natural way someone finds a channel. I had just gotten back into 7th edition. 7th edition had just come out, and I used to play a lot of 3rd, 4th, and 5th as a kid, and then dropped it in high school, and then I got back into it more as an adult. So 7th edition had come out, and I wanted to bust out my old Necrons, and my friend Desmond had Tyranids out. He had just bought Tyranids at the time, So we're trying to figure it out, learn the rules, find them online, all this nonsense before we wanted to fully commit to the game. And I was just getting my butt kicked every game because all I had were Necron Warriors and Illuminar Caesaras and a few other as like a lord. And he had Carnifexes. He had like 2 or 3 Carnifexes, and he had the regeneration rule on them where they'd get a wound back every turn on a 4-up. I couldn't do anything about that. My Necron Warriors were wounding on 6s. He had a 3-up armor save. I would never kill one before he got to me, and he would just charge me, kill me, sweeping advance me, and I would lose every game. And I was just like, there's got to be something I can do here. So the first step is you go to Google, you type in Necrons versus Tyranids, click, 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 and a 6th edition game of Warhammer 40K on MiniWarGaming popped up, but I didn't know it was 6th edition because I never played 6th edition. I only played the previous editions that I mentioned. And I'm watching and I'm like, oh, they're doing all the rules wrong, I think. From what I read, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? But I'm watching them play, and then I click on a few more videos. I start watching, then I'm like, oh, it was pretty entertaining though. And then I'll watch a few things here and there. Then I realized, oh, because I clicked on the queue from like the playlist of all the Warhammer 40K things, and it started off at like 6th edition, and at this point 7th edition's already been out for a bit. So it's just like, oh, they're Warhammer 40K battle reports that started in 6th edition. So I just started watching a bunch of 6th edition battle reports. And then I realized I was watching 6th edition battle reports because they had mentioned it towards the end. They were like, a 7th edition's coming out shortly, so we're very excited. I'm like, wait, what do you mean 7th edition's coming out shortly?
Can you see it now?
Oh, I see that. Yeah. I mean, it's the glasses. It's the classic, like, not super short hair, glasses, and facial hair. Yep. And the same color of hair, right?
Yep.
So there's all that. But no, I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, I started watching MiniWarGaming, and I've only really watched MiniWarGaming. Now that I work here, I don't watch it that much anymore. I'll watch, because I get to see all the videos already. Like, I could watch Josh's battle report, but I've already seen, like, his guests, I've already met his guests, I've already seen his army, and I've already seen the outcome of the game. So I got, like, the gist of everything already. So I haven't actually watched one in a while. Every now and then I'll check something out, but for the most part, I'm just watching a lot of, like, Hearthstone and Warcraft stuff for whatever reason. Not by choice, it just kind of happens.
Watch Hearthstone stuff?
I do. Yeah, like, I like this one guy. His name's Disguised Toast. I don't know why. I like him. It's just, it is what it is. Oh, I'll go back and I'll answer another vault one. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, so the next one here is by Big Mikey, another vault member. Luka, what topic, or does topics, gets everyone at the office the most riled up or starts shouting matches? I don't think there's any been shouting matches recently. No one's really been. No, it's been a while, because mostly when 8th edition first came out, there was a whole lot of like, oh, by the way, did you know how this works? No, it doesn't work like that. No, you're wrong. There was a lot of that when 8th edition first came out, because we still had such a 7th edition mindset, or like any poorly written rule that Games Workshop had to FAQ or eventually errata, because it was written well, but it was just so broken or like it didn't work. Because I remember the one funny thing is the Dimachron, pretty sure that's what it's called, Forge World, and its rule was whenever it rolls. This got changed eventually, but this is funny. This is the 8th edition. Whenever it rolls a 6 or more to wound, the strength of the attack is increased by 1 or 2 or something like that. But the fact that it already wounded meant the strength had no effect. And we're all sitting there with the book trying to figure out, maybe like that actually stumped us for a bit, because we're thinking, well, maybe we're doing one of the rules wrong and we're not understanding an interaction with the strength. It just turned out it was a poorly written rule. There's a lot of that stuff. Not really shouting matches, but a whole lot of like, this works like this. No, you're wrong. It works like this. And then just a debate until it got FAQ'd. Or we treated it like, oh, this is how it works. This is obviously how it was intended to work. But you can't argue rules as intended, so you have to play with rules as written. And a lot of the time that doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make Steve happy. Things like that. But you can't argue rules as intended. So that was the closest we ever got. Currently, the topics that get us most excited, though, other than that, though, would be Dungeons & Dragons. Steve, Matt, and myself are really big into Dungeons & Dragons right now. Matthew's excitement. Matthew has this infectious kind of personality when it comes to excitement. When he's excited for something, he'll mention it, and then he'll sell it. He'll sell it so freaking hard that everyone else in the office is either sold or they don't really care too much. Like currently as D&D 5, I love D&D 5e. I always have. As soon as it came out, but my friends always wanted to play 3.5, so I always just play more 3.5. But now Matthew wants to play 5e. I got Kenny playing 5e. My friends at home kind of play 5e every now and then. Loving it. And that's what's getting us excited right now. Matt's always just kind of like digging through the rules to find any little kind of intricate change. And then as they release FAQs and erratas, he's like, oh, this is how this works now, or this is how this works now. And it's always talking about it, always getting us excited. And the new D&D role-playing show that we're doing right now is just amazing too. The Heroes of Herrenberg. I loving it. Just absolutely loving it.
Coming up tomorrow.
Oh, is that coming out tomorrow on video?
Yeah,
nice. That's on YouTube. So that is actually, by the way, coming out tomorrow on YouTube. If you didn't catch the live stream that happened on Tuesday, 2 days ago, the Heroes of Herrenberg it's coming out on YouTube. How long is that video? Do you know?
Ooh, I know the whole live stream was around 4 hours, but that's with a little bit of breaks and cutting off some of the beginning and the end.
So about 3.5?
Probably at least 3.5.
Yeah. So the episode's probably going to be about 3.5 hours long, and it's our first introduction to the Heroes of Herrenberg campaign, where I am playing a half-orc barbarian, Bolfrir the Gold, from his barbarian tribes, along with Steve, who is playing his gnome, Kenny, who is playing a human fighter, Lars Frank, and we have 3 guests as well. We have Tom, Ben, and Jeremy. We're playing a cleric, wizard, and bard. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Just kind of we're all getting used to each other and everything like that. So it's good fun. If you're interested in Dungeons & Dragons, go ahead and check that out if you've never looked into it or if you've always been kind of curious. And then the second part is keep on being awesome and have a good Christmas, good holidays, all the good happy cheer. Thank you, Big Mikey. Naturally, I will.
I feel like I was going to say something, but I
You totally forgot what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Maybe I can remember. If I remember, I'll let you know.
I'm falling behind.
Oh, it was if you can't wait to watch the Dungeons & Dragons stream until tomorrow.
You can sub and VOD?
Exactly.
Yep. So naturally, of course, if you are a Twitch subscriber, you get all the videos on demand that we record or we live stream, and you can watch it. Say you missed it's every Tuesday at 12:30 to 4:30, and if you can't watch that, you can sub, and then you can just watch it when you get home, that kind of thing. I know it's not the same as watching it live because you're not there with us, but you get the videos. Is it 3 days or is it 2 days before? Oh, 3 days. Yeah, 3 days before we actually put it on YouTube. The next question, because I'm falling behind on the chat pod here, is from Grey Army Gaming. Here's a question you should ask any of the NPCs in a role-playing game that we should ask you. What drives Luka and what does Luka fear? Me as a person. What does Luka fear? Luka fears like a realistic fear. I'm uncomfortable with heights, but I'm always challenging it. So I tend to like heights because it gives me that roller coaster thrill factor. Would I skydive? If someone pushed me, yes. Okay, here's a question. Would I go in the plane and put the parachute on? Yes. Would I jump? No. Someone would have to push me. Would I hate them for it? No, because I'd have a blast. Roller coasters, love them. Mountain climbing, I haven't done that in a while, but yeah, that was always fun. Now, for actual fears, you ever imagine how deep the ocean is? How deep the oceans are? Being stranded in the middle of the Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean, and that whole kind of weird fantasy horror aspect where something large kind of swims underneath you and you just see its shadow. I think that's kind of creepy. That would scare me. I would be afraid of that. Would you be afraid of that, Cullen?
Seeing a large...
You're stranded right in the middle of the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean.
Just that, man. I haven't even seen anything to swim under me.
Yeah, so I think that other than that, though, if I was to be honest, I'm not too afraid of anything I can think of right now. It's always kind of, you always have a little bit of that adrenaline or fear when you think someone's broken into your house. You hear a noise in the middle of the night. You never have that? You're sitting there on your computer, all of a sudden you hear something fall over downstairs. You're like, oh great, someone broke into my house.
I have enough cats that...
Oh, you just assume it's a cat? I don't have a cat though, so. I know, I don't have a cat. I've moved from, I used to live with my mother for a while, and I always had a cat there. I'm living with my girlfriend and our roommate, and the roommate owns the house, and we're no pets allowed, so we don't have a cat. So we plan on getting a couple dogs and a cat when we buy our own house in the future, in the next year. But for now, no cat and nothing to knock over anything. So if we hear something in the middle of the night, well, I gotta go check it out, and that's always kind of scary. What drives me though? Food drives me. Good time drives me. Good games. Games drive me. Not just video games, traditional games too. If I'm here at work and I just been playing 40K all day, and my friends are like three of my friends are all getting together. They need me for a fourth. We're gonna hang out and play 40K all night. Or it's going to be Magic the Gathering Commander all night. We're playing board games. We're all going to play video games together. That drives me. Going home, relaxing, watching TV, all of that stuff. I love all that stuff. It's amazing. We got Talon Kane with the next question. Hey, finally took the plunge into Age of Sigmar. Nice. I'm getting the core book, the General's Handbook, and Blades of Corn book for Christmas. Ooh, anything else? Oh, this is one of those ones that gets cut off, but I think I can... I think he's saying anything else you recommend. This is by Talon Kane.
Talon Kane?
I know, it might be pretty... It's 1434 if that helps for a timestamp.
Oh. I never even thought about using timestamps.
So 2:30 would be 2:34, so this is 16 minutes ago.
Wow. 2:34. Wow. That makes so much more sense to do that.
So...
No one ever told me that there was timestamps.
Well, there's a timestamp here. Timestamps.
2:34?
Yeah.
From Talon Kane?
Yeah, what's the end of that one?
Hey, finally looking to...
Anything else you recommend?
Anything else you recommend to get me up to speed?
Okay. So the core rulebook, General's Handbook, and the Blades of Corn. If you're going to play the Blades of Corn, all must-haves, of course. The Age of Sigmar app and Azir do wonderful things to help you get into the game as well. So the Age of Sigmar app is free, so I'd recommend getting that if you don't already have that. The Blades of Corn, the starter box for the demon, it all depends what you want. If you're going to play Blades of Corn, you're going to want demons, because Blades of Corn are most fun when you're summoning tons of demons to the battlefield. Now, you don't have to get a bunch of them right away. If you get like the demon starter box and some Mortals of Corn or the Corn Bloodbound, you're going to have a good time. I promise you that. You can't go wrong with a lot of the things there. Everything, like the Blood Reavers are good, Blood Warriors are good. Everything is generally good, because when it dies, it gives you summoning points, and with those summoning points, you summon more demons to the battlefield. When you're killing things, you're getting summoning points. I tend to prefer to play a very Blood Tithe heavy base list, so I bring as many Reavers as I can. We have even more Reavers now. They go in, if they do a couple of damage to something, or they kill something, great. I want them to die. I want them to give me Blood Tithe points. And Age of Sigmar is a very heavy objective-based game when you're playing the match play battle plans. So the more Reavers you have, the more bodies you have to swarm objectives. And because you're Blades of Corn, I would highly recommend you bring a Bloodsecrator and Slaughter Priest. One Bloodsecrator, 2 Slaughter Priests to run the Gore Pilgrims, and you're good to go. That is a really good, it's not overpowered, it's just a really good battalion that gives the army a lot of power. And it lets it play up. There's other ways for it to play up even higher, but that's a really good medium power level, can play down, can play up. That's what I highly recommend. So when you get your book, look at the Gore Pilgrims, look what it takes, get that and a bunch of Reavers. Get as much Reavers as you can get your hands on. They're awesome fun, they die en masse. You don't care if they die because it gives you Blood Tithe points, and if you do wounds with them, you're even happier. And they just swarm objectives, they grab objectives, and you win that way. And near the end of the game, when you don't have a whole lot left, neither does your opponent, and you're still summoning demons to the battlefield. So I think you got the right idea with getting all the books. Just look at getting some demons and getting some Reavers. And if you don't care about playing Mortals, then don't care about the Bloodsecrator. You know what, the Bloodsecrator, I'd still say take it, because it gives you demons. I'm pretty sure it gives anything with the Corn keyword +1 attack, and it cannot take Battle Shocks. It got FAQ'd. It says you cannot take Battle Shocks, so you're never running away, which is nice. The next question is going to be from Fire Drake. Oh, I skipped it. Oh, no. I hit it too hard. It was by Fire Drake around 1436 or 236, if you can grab that one for me.
Fire Drake?
Yeah, at 1436. 236. I felt bad. I didn't mean to skip it.
Will you be continuing the Blackstone Fortress campaign or starting a new campaign because of rules errors? When will the next Blackstone stream begin?
So we have ambitions of continuing the Blackstone Fortress, but I realistically, I don't know if we have the time, because I am so bogged down with narrative stuff right now. I'm currently doing the D&D on Tuesdays, and once a week, sometimes twice a week, I'm trying to do Yogg Tour with Steve and Matthew. I'm trying to do the Death Watch narrative campaign with Josh, and taking on guests that come in. It's really, and in addition to that, Cullen has slowly starting to set up his own streaming schedule with everyone here at the offices, where he has Chris on Fridays, and he's got one of us every Thursday to do this live sit and talk with you. in addition to the D&D show and whatever.
Shrine of Chaos is the other one.
And the Shrine of Chaos, that's on Monday? No, is that Tuesdays? Wednesdays, that's right. So Shrine of Chaos is on Wednesdays with Dave as well. So we're all pretty busy because we're trying to include the streaming thing into the business. We're trying to involve the viewers more, and streaming is the best way to do that, right? It gives you that on-the-spot interaction with us here. So it's really gotten us busy. So I'll be honest, I don't think Blackstone Fortress is going to happen, but if it does, well, it does. There's been some miracle, right? The next question is from Benson Wonderstag. Can you do a custom Blood Games scenario? A couple of custodes, hunting some heretics or something. So like the Blood Games that the custodes do. To my knowledge, the Blood Games for the custodes, I think it varies. It does different things. But one of my favorite ones that I heard was that one individual member of the custodes attempts to break into the Imperial Palace and assassinate the Emperor. And it's up to the rest of the custodes to try and stop him. And so it's up to him to find chinks in the defense of the custodes and stuff like that. And there's obviously other Blood Games too, like gladiatorial things and stuff like that. It's just a whole kind of thing of entertainment. It's this, I can't think of the word, assortment of entertainment. I've never even thought that's a good idea though, a custom Blood Game scenario. Josh might be interested in that because he's currently the in-house interested guy in the custodes. I myself am not too interested. And I don't like elite armies. I'm kind of a poo on me, but I hate elite armies. I'm not a huge fan of them. The next question is from Oliver was here. Now, this is when I asked him if he was thinking more competitive or casual. Drukhari play a lot more competitive than the Black Legion. If you want to play Chaos Space Marines competitively, you have to do a very heavy soup sort of thing. So you want to have as much cultists as you can have, make them all immune to morale. If you can, give them the Alpha Legion trait, because I'm pretty sure Abaddon works not with just Black Legion, but with Chaos in general. So Chaos doesn't take, so you bring Abaddon, you bring Alpha Legion cultists, you swarm the battlefield, you bring nothing but Demon Princes, or you bring like the double Demon Prince Primarchs with Princes and all that good stuff too. That's how you play them competitively, and I don't like soups, so I would recommend Drukhari, because that way you get a unified force. The Cabal stuff is really strong, and so are the Homunculus Covens. I don't think the Witch Cult is very strong, but with the Cabal you can spam blasters, all that good stuff. You're just super fast, you're always advancing, you're always shooting, stuff like that. So I would recommend Drukhari. Super Wasp King. Now I remember you are the one who you either subbed or you donated bits. You donated bits, I think. Yeah. I have been thinking of coming over for a battle. Good, you should. Everyone should always consider that. I wanted to know if you guys have a painted Fire Angels army. I can go Ultramarines, but I wanted to ... So at 239, his question ends up getting cut off there. This is Super Wasp King. So I'm not too familiar with the Fire Angels. I'm going to assume they are a successor to the Ultramarines, because that's where your sentence kind of ended off.
Did it cut off, or did he...
It cuts off there, yeah. So it's at 239. It's the Super Wasp King.
239.
And the I can go Ultramarines, but ...
Aha. I can go Ultramarines, but I wanted to know.
I'm not too familiar with the Fire Angels. I'm assuming they're an Ultramarine successor. We don't actually have too many successor chapters, other than our own in-house, the Sentinels of the Forge, which are supposed to be a successor to Salamanders. We have a lot of the original founding chapters, right? We have all the original founding chapters. We have all of the Traitor Legions as well, but not too many of the successors or second foundings and stuff like that. But we do have Ultramarines. We definitely have Ultramarines. We have a good amount of them too. We have a few thousand points, and they're actually kind of built for 8th edition too. So you see, we have a few captains with jump pack, thunderhammers, and storm shields. We have lieutenants with the same stuff like that. But yeah, we do have Ultramarines if you want to play our Ultramarines. They do need some repairs though, but that wouldn't take long at all. The next question I have here is from Don Sarnett. Hey, Mr. The Dice, what would you like to see in 2019 for Age of Sigmar? Oh, geez. More destruction armies for sure. And by destruction armies, I mean destruction battle tomes. I want to see them revisit some of the older battle tomes they've done. Sorry, I want to see them reprint like a Seraphim battle tome. I want to see them do Bone Splitters again. Well, sorry, Seraphim or Order. 1 second. My throat was dry. I want to see them redo the Bone Splitters. I want to see them redo all the old battle tomes, be it destruction or not. I want to see that. I want to see endless spells do better. You know, now I understand that each army, it looks like if they have access to magic, they're having access to their own endless spells, which is cool. And those endless spells tend to be a little bit better or more usable even. But the generic ones, there's only a handful of them that are good, and they're only, and I only say good because you don't feel as bad when you bring them to an army. If you have 20 points left over, it's almost easier to go for the triumph sometimes. I would like to see better. I would like to see better endless spells. I want to see better or different battle tomes come out. I want to see more destruction representation because I feel like destruction is kind of lacking in the form that there's only the Beastclaw Raiders, Iron Jaws. What other destruction armies have battle tomes in Age of Sigmar? Having a hard time here.
There is that.
Yeah, because there's obviously a bunch of General's Handbook armies, but you know. And what would I like to see in 2019 for Age of Sigmar? General's Handbook 2019. Why not? General's Handbook 2018 is amazing. But let's see what 2019's got in store for us, right? Next question will be from... I've actually gone through all the Vault questions already. Actually, do I have one more? No, I do have one more. I'll do the last one I have here is by the Danish Viking Alex. And I want to remind you that Matthew is next week's, and I should do this a couple times. If you go to MiniWarGaming.com, and if you're watching this on YouTube, actually, don't leave the comments on YouTube because the comments will be disabled there. Go to MiniWarGaming.com, leave the comments on the video there, but not the Vault part, the original free part on YouTube, because people won't recognize the ones on the Vault. They won't go there, they won't check them out. This question is by the Danish Viking Alex. I remember, I've answered some of your questions before. At Luka Luka Mr. the Dice, also known as Catman, I have a few questions. The first one, I asked Steve the same, but I would like your opinion as well. I am having a discussion with my best friend about who is the most overpowered, Magnus or Mortarion, 40k, not 30k. What are my thoughts on that? Okay, if we're talking on one-on-one or overall, in one-on-one, Magnus beats Mortarion every time. It's almost guaranteed. Like Mortarion is super powerful, but Magnus has Death Hex, and that's all he needs to beat Mortarion. Mortarion, you lose your 4-up invulnerable save, all my attacks go through, and you just have Disgust and Resilience to ignore them. Eventually, Magnus's invulnerable save, Magnus's 3-up invulnerable save, will win through over Mortarion's no invulnerable save and no armor save against Magnus's attacks. So in a one-on-one, Magnus wins every time. She should win every time. Obviously, there could be freak situations where Mortarion wins. But on the tabletop, it's a good question. Mortarion tends to be more durable overall than Magnus because of his capabilities of... Here's the thing. If let's say Magnus and Mortarion, neither of them go first, Mortarion is going to survive, whereas Magnus will not survive a lot of turn 1 shooting from an army that is meant to kill Magnus. Because a lot of the time, if you're playing against someone who's playing Magnus or Mortarion, they're going to let you know, oh, I'm bringing Magnus or I'm bringing Mortarion. Bring something that can deal with them if they're going to be polite. They're not overpowered, but it's always nice to let your opponent know. Or I guess if your opponent's going to face you for the first time, they should assume. If you're playing Thousand Suns or Death Guard, you're probably going to bring one of the two. Magnus almost never survives. If he gets the first turn, super durable. 3-up invulnerable save. I think he can reroll ones. Oh no, it's not that. 3-up invulnerable save, -1 to hit. Whereas Mortarion has the 5-up Disgust and Resilience, 4-up invulnerable save, but he can also give -1 to hit himself. So they're both pretty durable if they get to go first. But if they don't go first, then Mortarion tends to live it out. Who's the most powerful though? Magnus does a lot more mortal wounds from afar, but Mortarion does a lot more mortal wounds up close. So I think they're both pretty okay. I think Mortarion wins out, in my opinion, because I think the Death Guard are a better army overall than the Thousand Suns. But the Thousand Suns can play pretty nasty too if you're going to spam Demon Princes, because the Thousand Sun Demon Prince is pretty strong. The next part of the question. Now that Quirk is no longer at MiniWarGaming, will someone else of the content producers play demons from time to time? That's a good question. I'm sure Dave will dabble in demons every now and then. I myself, I like to play a demon kin kind of list. If I'm going to play Death Guard, I'll throw some demons in, some synergy between demons and Death Guard every now and then, but you probably won't ever see me play straight up demons, and I don't think you're going to see anyone here play straight up demons. The closest you're going to get are demon kin-esque armies. If Steve was to play his Iron Warriors, he might throw in some demonettes. He might throw in some Chaos Spawn, even though they're technically not demons. But you'll never get full-blown demons. I shouldn't say never. It's very unlikely you're going to get full-blown demons. Third question. Many months ago, I saw Cullen post photos on Facebook about making the I Love Chaos video. With the huge amount of Chaos minis you have, why hasn't it been posted yet? So, I know the question. Like, we just finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those videos are all going to be paired with battle reports.
Yeah.
Which, of course, had to be filmed. So there was actually 6 videos in that series. And I actually just posted I think Rob already has all the battle reports posted on Vimeo, and I think I just posted them all yesterday.
So
put them in the scheduler today.
It's happening soon, because I remember, if you couldn't hear what Cullen was saying, it's happening soon. The synopsis is that each one of those video series where he's talking about the 4 Chaos Gods undivided in the entire collection went up with battle reports pertaining to those armies. So I played Dave when he was playing Nurgle, Slanesh. Actually, not Nurgle. I can't remember, actually. I'm bad. I played him twice. Phil from the Glacial Geek came in and played him a couple times. And then there was an overall Apocalypse game as well that's tied into it against Phil from the Glacial Geek. And those are going out shortly because all the videos are ready to go up. And there's just a little bit to figure out where to release them, right? Because Dave and Josh are trying to figure out what day they want that to go up. It's happening soon, the Danish Viking, Alex. Soon. And speaking of Cullen, he wants to know, are you working here permanently or you go back to school? You're done school, right? Well, that's right. We have a couple electives.
I still have a couple electives.
Yeah.
I'm planning on doing them online. I just keep missing the deadline, but I'm pretty much done school.
Yep. So he's pretty much done school. He has a couple electives. He plans on doing online. If you didn't hear him, but he keeps procrastinating and missing the deadlines. But you're pretty much here 4 or 5 days a week now with all the streaming you have to do. Yeah, so he's here all the time. He's not just he was here Monday to Wednesday before, but now he's pretty much here all week now. But he's pretty much done with school. And that was the last for the Vault member questions. I'm falling behind on the chat bot questions. Don Cernette, hello, Mr. the Dice. What would you like to see? Oh, I already asked that question. Sorry, Kefinas. What would you recommend to kid out aggressors? And to help you pronounce it, it is pronounced Kefinas. Thank you. I think I just said Kefinas. Yeah, Kefinas. Thank you. What would I kid out aggressors with? I've always liked the Flamer potential. I think that's really cool, but the Bolt Storm and the Frag is the best. In a lot of situations, it's the best. It works really, really well with the Raven Guard. Really well with the Raven Guard. And it works really well with a lot of other armies as well. I'm pretty sure that's the best loadout. But I think the Flamers are cooler. So keep that noted as well. That's what I think is cooler. GeoFits number 4, Mr. the Dice. How many cats do you own and what are their names? I owned 1 cat. Its name is Skittles. It ran away, but that was a while ago. It happened when I went on vacation. I trusted someone to take care of it, and the cat actually pushed his head out the screen and just left. The window was open, the cat was hanging out, and the cat's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Because the cat wasn't at my house, it was at their house. Because they were too far away. And the cat's like, you know what, I want to go home. I don't know if the cat ever found home. But that was Skittles, my cat. I plan on getting another cat in the future. I don't know when I move out eventually, but. Forever Night. Luka, have you ever been contemplating adding the Necron Seraptech heavy construct to your Necron army? Yes. Yes. And by contemplating it, I mean pestering Matthew every day to buy it from Forge World. And he's like, yeah, I'll think about it. Yeah, I get that every day, but he'll give up. He'll buckle one day and he'll get it for me. Yes, I will be adding that heavy construct to the Necron forces, and yes, you will be seeing me play it. I don't know when, but you'll see me play it. This question, Skulls ZZ at DM. It's just like, you like playing the barbarian, don't you? Yes, I do, Skulls Z at DM. I do like playing the barbarian. In fact, I must say, I think I actually skipped someone's question, and I didn't get the name, so I felt bad, because it's very, the trackpad is very sensitive on this laptop. So if I hit pick next, it just kind of hit doubles. So I apologize. If I didn't get to your question, just repost it, try to repost it, it'll pop up again. But yeah, I do like playing the barbarian. In fact, it's the only thing I play in 5th edition because I love it so much. I played, I think, 10 or 11 5th edition campaigns. Every single one is half-orc barbarian every time. Jeez. I love, it's not even the most optimal. I just love the half-orc barbarian. I love the half-orc critical. I love, they have a passive ratio ability that if they ever reduce to 0 health, they just go to 1 instead. Once per long rest. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And it's just so easy to be a half-orc barbarian. You're half human, you're half-orc, you're quarter orc, yeah, whatever, it just works. Yes, I do like playing the barbarian. I love it. Bonsai Ferret. Bonsai Ferret. That makes more sense.
Like ferret?
Like ferret, the animal. The next Kill Team box sets, question mark. Any predictions before Xmas? I'm not too knowledgeable about Kill Team. I don't know much about it. I can't actually help you that much there, Bonsai Ferret. What could I predict? Well, I actually don't know what's already out for Kill Team. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't help you there. I would like to say maybe more Space Marine, maybe Blood Angels, if that's not already a thing. That'd be kind of cool. Blood Angel Kill Team. Catfish 666 again. Luka, what will be the next units I get from my Naha army? I have Lady Olinder, 1/2 of Soul Wars, and 20 Chain Rasp, 10 Hex Raids, and it gets cut off. At 247. That was a little bit ago, actually. Can you find that one for me, Kellen?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Who?
Catfish 666.
Do we get timestamps there?
247. And I got it. He lists off the amount of units he has.
Okay.
He's got Lady Olinder and...
I have Lady Olinder, 1/2 a Soul Wars box, 20 or more Chain Rasps, 10 Hex Raids, and 10 Blade Gas Revenants.
Oh, the Revenants are cool. So if you want something competitive, I have found that the Spirit Host Bomb is something near impossible to take off the table. You get to add up to 2d3, or depending on how many black coaches you have and your general, you can add 2d3 or more Spirit Hosts back to the unit. You give them -1 wound. They're very quick. You advance. You just take all the objectives you can. And then again, I've also been playing double Chain Rasp bombs too, like deploying on 2 sides of the table, Chain Rasp, double hero support, double Mournghoul, because I like Mournghouls a lot. And I find that those are very powerful bombs that drift up the battlefield, grabbing objectives as well. So I would recommend you definitely get a black coach. I think the black coach is so cool. You get a black coach, you do that, or I'll be disappointed in you. I don't know if it's super powerful. I think it's cool. It's got a lot of utility with it. And if you can do the black coach with your Hex Raids, and you get to do that 1 battalion, where you get to automatically fight if you roll a 9 or more unmodified charge instead of 10 or more, which increases the odds by quite a bit. So I'd say get a black coach. Yeah, definitely black coach. And some Spirit Host if you want to run a Spirit Host bomb. Uncle Servo, Luka, what are some role-playing games you'd like to see MiniWarGaming live stream in the future? I'm such a freaking diehard D&D fan. We do plan on doing Wrath and Glory and the Age of Sigmar narrative campaigns, and I will be interested in doing both of those. So that is what I would say. Age of Sigmar, Wrath and Glory, and Wrath and Glory and the Age of Sigmar narrative campaign that are coming out in the future.
How big's the queue right now?
I've got 5 left. So you just want to stop it there, answer them.
Maybe give them 5 minutes to get in any last questions, and then close it up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take. You have 5 more. You have 5 more minutes to ask me questions, and I'm gonna hit close, which means I won't be taking any more questions on chatbot. And at that point, the sit and talk will end, and I'll remind you to go pester Matthew next week. But the next one here is from Uncle Servo. What are some role-playing games you'd like to see at MiniWarGaming live stream in the future? Well, I've already answered that one. Sorry. It's Age of Sigmar and the Wrath and Glory one. Bloody or B-Lody. How much weight did I gain since joining MiniWarGaming? It's called the MiniWarGaming 25, buddy.
What a savage guy.
It's fine. I put on, so I went from, I was 220 when I got hired. Actually, I probably put on, no, that's not true. I put on weight since that because I got my car. I was at 215, got my car, put on 15 pounds. So I went up to 230. And then I put on the MiniWarGaming 25 after getting hired. So I went up to 255, 260. And now I'm down to 235. So I've been more careful. That's the whole thing. It's once you get hired, you put on that. It's called the MiniWarGaming 25. It hits everyone. It hits Cullen. My favorite part with Cullen was that he would come back from school super thin, and then he would put on like 15, 20 pounds super just over the summer. He would put it on so quick, and then he'd drop it all back on school, and it's real. It's freaking real, guys. All right, K. Roo Fox. Can the MiniWarGaming bunker have an office cat? I would love that. Oh, I would love that so. Wouldn't you love an office cat?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
I don't know. Maybe some people are probably allergic to cats.
I was gonna say, I feel like somebody's definitely allergic.
Probably Dave.
If we just get one of those
Probably
nice
Dave.
hypoallergenic-
Hypoallergenic cats. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion, Kate. You know what? I'm gonna keep because we had Dave's dog here for a bit when he went on vacation and Steve was watching it. I loved having that dog around. That was awesome having the office dog. I would love an office pet. Yeah, why not? Cats are super comfortable. They hang out. The cat can hang out in the studio when you're recording. You're. Oh, that would be awful. I just forgot about that. That shouldn't happen. That would be bad. But I would love an office cat. Next question is from Richie. Are you able to take a different dynasty warlord trait even if your army is another dynasty? I don't believe you are. I think you're only allowed to take, like, if you're not Sawtek, you can't take the Sawtek dynasty warlord trait. Pretty sure that's a rule for every army. That's a given. And if your warlord is like, yeah, you have to. Your warlord has to have that keyword, and your entire army pretty much has to have that keyword. So yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can do that for any army. We got Dora Bold. Luka, have you seen the Kill Team book? Like the rule book, the core rule book? Yes. I actually have one at home that I just forgot to return to the office. It's just in my desk.
That was Aaron.
What was Aaron? Oh, Dora Bold. Oh. Have you seen the Kill Team book? No. Oh no. Yes, I think it's at home. No, I'm lying. It's not Kill Team, what's it called? The one like Necromunda. I got the Necromunda Gang Wars book at home in my desk. I don't know where the Kill Team one is, Aaron. I'm sorry. My friends like Kill Team. My one friend Des really likes Kill Team. I just can't get behind it. I like this Kill Team a lot more than 7th edition Kill Team because that was awful. But this Kill Team has got a lot more rule support for it, and they do a very proper skirmish rule set for it too. It's really good. I just haven't gotten, it's like devoting time to it. I've spent more time in 40K and like Age of Sigmar, D&D, and video games. So, yeah. Oliver was here again. I think this is your third question. You got, by the way, a couple more minutes for questions before I close up the chat bot. If I were to build a Drukhari army, would you recommend the Start Collecting box? Oh, geez. I can't remember what's in the Start Collecting box. Colin, bring up the Start Collecting box for the Drukhari, and I can get that to you. I'll jump to the next question while you figure that out, though. Captain Dafty. Luka, what's your favorite Ravnica guild? Oh, that's easy. That's easy.
Yeah, I guess that is easy.
What do you think I would pick?
You?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what you play in Magic. That's the thing.
Oh, that's fair. What would you assume I pick? I actually have two favorites.
Gruul?
No. Gruul is cool though. So Gruul is a combination of red and green. They're the very natural, like all like nature, savagery, big scary giants, giant minotaurs, all that kind of like just like might is right, or might makes right is the saying, but definitely not. Well, you got one more guess.
You don't seem like a white player.
You're right. I do not. White is my least favorite color in Magic.
Is it Dimir?
Yeah, it is.
Ah.
Yes, so Dimir is my favorite Ravnica guild, with the runner-up being Golgari.
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, Golgari is my second favorite. I love reanimating, but Dimir does the weird approach to reanimating, where it's a lot like Body Double and like Lazov, Dimir Mastermind and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. So what's in the Drukhari starter box over there?
Here it is, because it's not listed in alphabetical order, because that would make too much sense. All right, here we go. We have what looks like okay. You'll receive a succubus, 10 witches, a venom, and 3 reavers.
Oh, that's the witch cult start collecting one. That's not great.
Could there be another one then?
Yeah, if there is another one, I wouldn't recommend that one. There used to be an old one where you used to get a Raider, you get an Archon, you get Kabalite Warriors. I think that was it. Maybe you got one more thing. I think that was a good one. That was not bad because that's what you want for you want Venoms, you want Vipers, you want Venoms and Raiders, Kabalite Warriors.
Yeah, that's the only one that's available.
Yeah, the old one was the better one. the Witch Cult is not very competitive for Drukhari. You want the Cabals. That's what you're shooting for. Or the Homunculus Coven. They can play up too, except they're way more expensive to get into because that's all fine cast stuff, right? We have Walking Harder. Actually, yes. So I'm closing it now. Actually, I'll give you 30 more seconds to ask any questions, and I'll close it. You get one more chance. Walking Harder. Luka, what should be the one must include in every Space Wolf list, no matter how bad it is? Ooh, I'm loving the Vendread or the Wolfen Dreadnought. I love it so much. That should be in every list. That's just so that's so iconic to Space Wolves. The Fenrisian Great Axe and the Blizzard Shield. It's just my favorite thing because of the idea that Dreadnoughts kind of just bash through ruins when they move through them or when they charge. It's just a big, dumb, stupid Space Marine box with the Blizzard Shield and an axe just making sounds as it just bashes, it Kool-Aid Mans through the bottom level of ruins, and it just starts hacking at you with an axe, and you're like, well, I guess I didn't see that coming. If I was to imagine anything, it was not that. So you have to include that in your army, no matter how bad it is. All right, you're out of time for questions. Bam. So I'll close it there. Walking Harder. Oh, that was so the next one is by Lemon. I got one more after this one. What is your favorite Elder Dragon Highlander deck? Mine is Marchesa, the Black Rose Theft deck. Oh, is that the first one, or is that that's not Queen Marchesa. That's Marchesa, the Black Rose. So that's the one where you, or Marchesa, yeah. We always call her Marchesa. Cheesy, right? Yeah. So Marchesa, the Black Rose, that's the one where you, it was dethrone was the mechanic. So if you attack someone with equal to or the highest amount of health, you get counters on your creatures, and you get to reanimate creatures that die if they had counters on them at the end of your turn, if Marchesa was on the field. She's a really cool commander. I was a huge fan of, my one friend made a Marchesa, the Queen deck, where it was the Monarch mechanic.
Oh yeah.
And it was a politics deck, so it was all about, you play cards that are like everyone at the table has to vote for certain outcomes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And it was very group hugsy and stuff like that. Well, I guess not really, because a lot of board wipes and stuff like that. It was cool. I'm a huge fan of that one. But my favorite commander deck currently, my oldest one is Lazov. The oldest one that I still have standing is my Lazov Dimir Mastermind deck. Okay, which is the first Lazov, where his rule was if a creature ever hits an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, he becomes a copy of it. Except he keeps the name Lazov, he keeps that ability, and he keeps hexproof. It was awesome because the way the Eldrazi hit the graveyard, then they get shuffled back in, so you get to keep the Eldrazi. Oh yeah. You get the Annihilator 6, and you get the. Actually, I guess the Annihilator 6 was only on Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, but yeah, all that stuff. You got to keep the Eldrazi Annihilators. You got to keep any of the other big name. It forces your opponent to not want to put big names in their decks, because that deck. Because you right. Just become them. Yeah, because that deck also ran things like bribery and stuff like that. It was a hate your opponent's deck. Like you put big expensive cards in your deck. Well, they're my cards now, because bribery just lets you take any creature out of your opponent's deck and play it for 5 mana. And like if you play against your opponent enough, you know exactly what's in their deck. They're running Ulamog. I'll take Ulamog, right? Stuff like that. My favorite current deck is Muldrotha. So do you know what Muldrotha does? Do you remember?
I'm pretty sure. Oh, she's Sultai, right?
Yes, she is Sultai. So it's 6 mana, 6/6. Her ability is you're allowed to play one permanent of any type, of each type from your graveyard every turn. So you can play 1 land, 1 creature, 1 artifact, 1 enchantment. Right. 1 planeswalker, and as a commander, that is super powerful. Now you can get pretty degenerate with that too, especially in 1-on-1. Because if you're playing Muldrotha and you have something like Mind Slaver in your deck, where you just mind control someone, it's a soft win, right? Because you can play Mind Slaver every turn from your graveyard, and you just mind control your opponent every turn. So there's that kind of stuff you can do. But I don't do that. I'm not like that. Oh, and Narset. I am a huge fan of Narset, the Enlightened One. Oh, she is so good. Oh, she is so good. But that one's pretty degenerate. That's a lot of like Omniscience and Enter the Infinite kind of combos. The last question I'm going to be answering is by Grey Army Gaming. Second question or third question even. What would you think about trying a live stream battle report? Would that even be possible? Of course it's possible. But the the amount of production that would have to go into that as opposed to what we normally do for a battle report. There's a lot of edit because when we record battle reports, we do the bulk of the editing when we're recording. It's a lot of short clips, and we delete off the camera on there what we don't need anymore, and we give it to Rob, and he kind of he throws it all together. He puts up the intro. He organizes the video into a certain format that we needed to be in, and he does any cleaning up that we can't do on the camera. But if we were to live stream it, that would kill our production. Like, one battle report would take, how long do you think it would take to edit one battle report if it's live streamed?
I mean, you would have to, yeah, because that's the weird part, right?
Yep.
Like, I mean, it would have to be its own thing. Right?
Yeah, because you'd chop it all up. You clean up all the dead time if there's any dead time.
I mean, I feel like at that point you wouldn't. If we were to do it, we wouldn't be able to edit them because that would add too much. It would have to. It would have to just be
rough, right?
A really big, long video because
and naturally
going back in to cut it up would then that's takes so long.
Yeah, it would take forever. Naturally, there's people out there that would like that. They wouldn't care. They'd want that 3-hour-long rough battle report where they're just like.
Lucky if it's 3 hours. That's the thing.
Yeah, it could be. Boy, that's true. It'd be way longer than that even. Yeah, because we're recording for like 6 hours sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's literally you at the gaming shop watching someone play for like 6 hours straight. It would be a long. The battle reports get cut down quite a bit when we edit them on the camera. Like, because how long does it take to edit one of the battle reports we film now currently?
I would say it takes longer to load the battle report into the editing software.
And then
that's actually a lie. Back before we did all the turn transitions,
right?
That was literally like, it would take longer to load it in.
Yep.
Now that there's the turn transitions, I mean, I can't speak for Rob. Rob's probably faster than I can do it.
Right.
It would take me around 25 minutes, so I assume he's got it a little bit more streamlined than I do.
15 or 20 minutes maybe.
And,
it takes longer to actually upload it and all. Yeah. It takes like 20 minutes, 25 minutes to edit one of the videos we do currently, and it's not super high-end editing, right? It just cleans it up, but it takes like almost no time at all. So to live stream something.
I mean, yeah, somebody is suggesting that if we were to live stream it, maybe just play a smaller point game.
There's that too. You can do 500 points. That would cut it down a ton. Mm-hmm. Even 1,000 points would neuter it in half, right? Or even less. Because the more points you play, it doesn't to play from 1,000 points to 2,000 points doesn't double the time. It makes it that much more because it's just like that much more rules checking, that much more this and that.
That many more dice to roll.
Exactly.
That many more things are shooting, that many more things to move.
It's just.
So, I think if we were to ever do that, it would have to be that or even potentially like one of the specialist games that allows you to play smaller.
Right, like live streaming Kill Team would be super easy. Mm-hmm. That one's more realistic. Live streaming Blood Bowl. I find that Blood Bowl is a very good spectator sport.
Yeah, I could see Blood Bowl being a good one for that too.
Yeah, because I've often just been at like Black Knight games, just sitting there watching someone play Blood Bowl. I'll just walk up and like, ooh, someone's playing Blood Bowl. I'll literally just ask if I can pull up a chair and watch them play, because that's truly entertaining. If you're able to watch someone play. And they're not explaining the rules, and you understand the rules, very fun to watch someone play Blood Bowl. You get to watch other people get frustrated as the dice get them. Oh, Blood Bowl gets me every time. I have no patience for the game. That's why I'm afraid to actually do a season of Blood Bowl. I love Blood Bowl. Super fun, but it frustrates me to no living end. And that's it for all the questions I have.
And so we got 2 final subs.
Nice.
Before we go, we got
Tyrannosaurus,
there you go, is a Twitch Prime sub. And we have Negative Radical also with Twitch Prime.
Nice. So using your Twitch Prime, smart. I like to imagine a lot of people kind of forget. Like Amazon Prime gives you so many things.
Amazon Prime is a lovely service.
I know Amazon Prime. I think it even affects Audible. I wonder if it gives you free books. Because with Audible, you get free.
Oh, and here we have 2 more subs. 1 Twitch Prime from Core 8 Ball and Casarelli, tier 1 sub.
Nice. Thank you, everyone. Of course, thank you all for the support. Really appreciate it. Because with that support, we get to keep doing this. And with more support, we get to evolve doing this more importantly. Right? Sure. This is our first kind of we're dipping our toes in it. Because I think Cullen and I are on the same page with the things that we want to do with live streaming. Because I would jump into all the live streaming stuff that Cullen wants to do. I think it's all super cool. Yeah, traditional games.
Traditional games, maybe a little bit of video game coverage. I don't know. We'll see.
There's so many things.
There's so many things.
We could.
potentially try to, and I mean, a lot of it is finding time for everyone.
Right.
To do such thing, but.
Because like I said, I'm quite busy. Obviously, if we get more into the live streaming, that gives Josh more wiggle room to figure out how to work it all out too, because he handles all the scheduling. So it's new to him, it's new for Cullen, and it's going well. It seems to be going pretty well, and it's super fun.
Let's just keep up D&D and things like that as well.
100%. And I want to remind you, Matthew is next week, so he'll be doing the live sit and talk right here at 2 o'clock. And if you want to leave any questions for him on the website, you know where to go. MiniWarGaming.com. This sit and talk, but not the YouTube part. Sorry, not the Vault part, but the YouTube part. Apologize.
There is no Vault part.
I guess there is no Vault part. Yeah, it's just one long sit and talk now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is technically the Vault part where I answer the questions of the Vault members. Changed the format. This is the first time I've done it. I like this though. It's kind of easy, it's concise, and it's a little more interactive because I like having Cullen in the room too. Cullen and I used to do sit and talks in the past, where it's always nice to have someone else in the room to bounce questions off of, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how well they can hear you. Do I have to repeat what you say, or they can hear you just fine?
I feel like I sound very far away.
All right.
Again, I'm still working, trying to get myself a microphone.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out one day.
One day.
So I don't sound like I'm 80 feet away from you.
That's fine. They love my voice anyways. Anyways, everyone, I think that is it for this week's Sit and Talk. And stay tuned for next week with Matthew. Or, if you're interested, more of me. I'll be in the D&D show come Tuesday. Happy wargaming, everybody. Oh.
So, Chris, tomorrow, 1 p.m.
Oh, yeah, Chris. Sorry. I forgot about Chris. Chris is tomorrow, 1 p.m., and he's painting. Well, he's more than that. You'll get this experience, but with Chris as he goes over painting techniques. And, well, it's Chris, guys. Come on.
Questions on Facebook.
1 p.m.
Be up. If not now, soon. If you have any questions, submit them there.
Yes. So it's sit and talk, but for painting with Chris. Go to Facebook to ask your painting questions from Chris. That's where he'll be going, and I'm sure he'll be drawing questions from here as well. Anyways, everyone.